Hey, it's June 24th and we find ourselves in 2 Chronicles chapters 10 through 12. Now yesterday we saw the nation of Israel split into two separate nations, Israel in the north and Judah in the south, all because Rehoboam made a really bad decision because he did not listen to the advice of the men who had ruled the kingdom with his father Solomon. But actually, this wasn't Rehoboam's fault. It was Solomon's. Remember, Solomon didn't follow God with his whole heart like David had. So God told Solomon that he would take the kingdom away from his son back in 1 Kings 11. You see, sin rarely affects just the person who does it. Solomon's sin not only affected his son, but the entire nation. Rehoboam didn't like the fact that the northern 10 tribes were leaving and was determined to bring them back by force. However, through the prophet Shemiah, God told Rehoboam to call off the war, and Rehoboam listened. Instead, he strengthened Judah and Benjamin, and all the Levite priests returned to Judah because Jeroboam actually kicked them out and appointed his own priests in Israel. Rehoboam's reign started out pretty good, but as soon as he got comfortable, he turned away from God. So God allowed the Egyptians to come in and discipline him, and he wisely turned back to God, and it stopped. So what can we take away from today's passage? First, sin rarely affects just the person who does it. Let that knowledge prevent you from sinning, knowing that your choices will affect loved ones and far more people than you can possibly imagine. It's yet another reason God tells us not to sin and instead pursue holiness. Second, God can even use wicked people to discipline his children. God allowed idol-worshiping Egypt to correct Rehoboam. God can and does do the same in our lives. My prayer for us today is that we would realize how horrible sin truly is and how many people it will affect. Let that knowledge prevent you from sinning. And when bad things are happening in our lives, examine yourself first to see if God might be using them to draw you back to himself. If you haven't done so already, please download our Through the Bible reading plan at aspericommunitychurch.org/throughthebible. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.